Hi there, good afternoon. Welcome to another edition of Light Mentality. Last week I spoke about what Light Mentality is about, which is a life coach initiative about mentality and mental wealth and spirituality. I spoke very briefly about what our aims are in terms of trying to get people to realize the power and the light that they have within, the fact that they have the answers that they seek are not outside of them, it's actually within them. We spoke about helping people to develop their consciousness, helping them to realize that they have an inner guidance, they have the Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit is what inspired me to start this life coaching initiative. So they have the Holy Spirit to guide them. And this is sort of part of what I spoke about last week. Today, I want to take it a bit further and talk about, break it down a bit about what is mental well-being, what is spirituality, and sort of break it down from there. So today, I want to start by talking about what is mental health or mental well-being. And I just wanted to, everybody knows about physical health. Physical health, people go to the gym to get their fitness. They try to watch what they're eating, their diet, they exercise, they take supplements. They do all kinds of things to keep their body fit, to keep themselves healthy, so that they have energy to run around, to do the things that they want to do daily. In the same way, mental well-being is about our mind. It's very much about our thinking, our mentality, our thinking ability, the way we reason, our thoughts or our thinking patterns. This informs our emotions and our behavior. So what I'm trying to say in essence is the way we think, our reasoning, our thinking patterns is actually what informs our behaviors, is what informs our personality. So a lot of the times when people talk about how they've reacted to situations, they don't realize that they think about it first, and that informs their emotions or their behavior, and then they act on certain things. So our thinking and mind is very, very important. In fact, your mind is the most important part of your body or your life. Your mind has to be settled, it has to be stable. You have to have a healthy mindset. Some people would say that you have to have a positive mindset. I would say that, whether positive or negative, we have thoughts that come through our mind all the time that we have no control over, absolutely no control over. So it's about just realizing that, you have a mindset, you have a mentality, you would have, positive thoughts, you would have negative thoughts. And it's also about being able to discern. It can actually be about beyond thoughts, where the spirit is, how the spirit can come through, regardless of what we're thinking. So I just wanted to talk a bit more about that, mental well-being. So to talk about spirituality translates to the knowing of whether we have a peace of mind or whether we have a settled mindset, or whether we're unstable. Basically, our behavior or personality is informed by our mind, the way we think, the way we interpret the world. I think I've already said that when I spoke about spirituality. Spirituality is very much the acknowledgement of God. Do we have a relationship with God? Do we even acknowledge that there is a being, that there is a God that created the universe? Do we have that kind of? Do we believe in the existence of God? So it's very much the relationship with God, or we can say that the spirituality is about your consciousness. Are you conscious? About yourself? Can you listen? How do you connect to God? How do you connect to the Holy Spirit? How do you connect? How are your decisions, your everyday actions and decisions? What guides you, for instance, or what's your resource? What's your source? If you're wanting to do something, who do you consult before you do the things that you want to do? If you're trying to make a big decision, how do you make a decision? How do you come up with a decision? What do you do? And some people have different things that they do in terms of the spirituality. Some people pray. A lot of us, the Christians, really believe in prayer, pray or speak in tongues. Some people meditate, they do meditation. Some people might go to nature. They like to connect to nature and sit down and be quiet and just meditate and just be present and sort of monitor their breathing and just to, in a way, that's how they connect. So people have different ways of connecting to God. The essence of God is all around us, the plant, the trees, the animals, the hair, rain, whatever it is that's going on around us, there's an essence of God because God created all of this. And there's a connection there. God created everything. So people have different ways of expressing their spirituality. And this guides them, this helps them with, their daily life or how they live their life or religion, or worship. People have different things that they do. Some people chant things that they do. So this is what spirituality is. Now, to talk about mental health disorders or mental health, when we say people have mental health issues, mental health issues is very much a disorder of the mind. It's sort of the inability to control your thoughts, the inability to control your mind, to such a point that it starts to affect your daily life, to such a point that it starts to affect your daily living, it affects you if you're a student, it starts to affect your studies, it starts to affect your relationship, your working life, your social life, whatever you do. If your mental health issues is if your inability to control your mind is at the point where it starts to erode into your daily life, that's when it becomes a mental health disorder. Now, the different mental health disorders are categorized in terms of the different symptoms. For instance, with depression, there are certain symptoms of depression like low mood. That's a typical symptom of depression. That's sort of the inability to be happy. This is a constant sadness or constant low mood that sort of exceeds over the period of 2 weeks. Or even when people do hear good news or good things are happening around them, their mood can be lifted just for a while, but then it goes plumps back down again into some kind of a low mood. And this can go on for over 2 weeks. There's the research states that there is 1 in 4 people suffering from depression. So depression is a public health issue. A lot of people are suffering from depression, and a lot of people don't even realize that they're suffering from depression. I'm just going to take a break and I'll come back. Hi again, welcome back. I did say that I wanted to take a break. So earlier on I was talking about depression, and I was saying about how low mood is typical symptoms of depression. The other one is low energy, feeling lethargic, lack of interest in things that you previously enjoy, lack of interest or wanting to be alone or wanting to be isolated, withdrawn. Places that you go, if you're a very social person and you have lots of friends or family, wanting not to be around them. Some people even losing interest in food, losing interest in things that you enjoy, basically not being yourself. And sometimes you can't even recognize what's going on with you. I think with mental health issues, if you're not suffering from it, you probably know people that are suffering from mental health issue, one or the other, one mental health issue or the other. And a lot of times people don't really talk about it. I mean, if you have an injury, you go to A&E and that could be easily treated. But once you have a mental health issue or mental health disorder, people don't know. People don't know why you're behaving the way you're behaving. People don't know what's going on with you. And some people might even say to you, just get over it. But it's not quite as easy as that. Now, the other common mental health issue is anxiety. And research shows that anxiety, 1 in 6 people suffer from anxiety. So anxiety is very common as well. And anxiety is basically that feeling of an impending doom, something bad is about to happen. And the major thing about mental health issues, the motivation is fear. The main, if you want to call it, ingredient or recipe for a mental health disorder is fear. It's a fear that grips the mind. It's a fear that overwhelms or that absorbs the person going through that difficulty so much. The fear is so real to them. It's a threat to their livelihood. It's a threat to their life. It's just a fear of something bad happening or something bad going on. And it's a way where the mind also does not recognize its own ability or its own strength anymore. It's a loss of willpower, total loss of control and weakness. But I don't want to spend a lot of time talking about depression and anxiety because you probably know what this is. If you read online, you'd have all kinds of information about it. Hi there. So I was saying that I wanted to talk about more about the focus on the approach of managing, treating, curing, healing mental health issues. And based on my experience as a mental health practitioner, with all the trainings and all the experience of over 8 years that I've worked in mental health, I've worked in psychotherapy, that I've done, I believe strongly that spirituality has to be the right way to treat our mental health issues. There are other things that can be looked at as well, that can help the mental health or help promote our mental well-being, like our lifestyle. How do you live your life? How do you eat? What habits do you have? Do you have physical activity? Do you exercise? How do you live? What kind of a lifestyle? What kind of job do you do? How many hours are you at work? How many hours are you at rest? How many hours do you spend socializing? How many hours do you spend doing the things you enjoy, doing the things that add value to your life? So just looking at lifestyle, that is a key indication. If someone is going through mental health issues, look at their lifestyle. Look at how they're living their lives. Look at what's happening in their life. What's happening in their family background. Is there any trauma? What are they going through? What experiences are they going through? What relationship are they in? Who are they in relationship with? Who are their friends and families? What kind of job do they do? So I was talking about things that had value. What do you do? What do you spend most of your time doing? Do you spend your time doing the things that has value? Or do you spend your time doing the things that depletes your energy? Or doing the things that doesn't inspire you, doesn't motivate you, doesn't help your mental well-being? These are some of the things to look at. Also, daily choices and decisions. Earlier on in the video, when I spoke about spirituality, I said about resource and source. How do you make decisions, choices? What guides your decisions? What are you thinking when you make your decision? So this is other things to look at, because every choice, every decision we make, where we are today is a result of the decisions, choice that we've made in the past. So that is very, very important as well. Living in the present. It's not so much about, tomorrow, because tomorrow is not guaranteed. We don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. So we live in the present. But at the same time, what choices, what decisions are you making right now? Are they helpful? Are you making helpful decisions over your life and over people that are even around you? The key one that I mentioned before was spirituality. Spirituality for me is a key. I said about spirituality is about your relationship with God or with you can say universe. However it is you have, whatever understanding you have of who God is, do you acknowledge God? Do you know that, do you experience, or you have the essence of God? Do you believe in God? Do you trust God? Do you pray? Do you meditate? What do you do to connect to God? These are very, very important questions. Do you have time alone to reflect? Do you have time alone to sort of to journal, to talk about, to think about how you feel, to think about, what's happened in the day, to think about your reactions, to think about, what could have done better. That's self-awareness, enlightenment, consciousness, being conscious of who you are, being able to look at yourself and see yourself for who you are, not deceive yourself, being able to tell yourself the truth. What is your truth? What is the truth? What does the word truth means to you? This is all about spirituality. These are things that are definitely going to help our mental well-being. So Light mentality, there will be other videos that I'll be making that will look at different topics that relates to life and life experiences, different topics that will look at or that will help us with living the life that we want, or living a life that is, beyond our wildest imagination. The key things, the tips that we need to look at when we in our daily decisions, in our daily life experiences, what we can learn from life, how we can make life work for us, not against us. How we can realize that, every time we decide to whatever we decide to do, to achieve, once we can conceive these ideas, to realize that actually they can come to pass, to have that kind of, a sense where to be motivated to want the best for yourself or for others, to be motivated to want to impact, to want to contribute in your own way. What do you have to contribute to humanity? What do you have to give? What do you have to share? What talents, what abilities? What are you passionate about? This is what life mentality is about. What are you passionate about? What do you want to do? How do you want your life to be? How do you want life to, what do you want to see in your life? What kind of a person do you want to be? How do you want to contribute to humanity? Okay, this is what life mentality is all about. So in the other videos, I'll be talking more about different topics that relates to life and living and, bringing a life, living a life of exploit and so on. I hope you've been able to enjoy the session for today, and I look forward to talking with you again next time. Thank you for watching.